Good afternoon. I'd like to call to order the Plan and Zone Commission regular meeting of today, January 18th. We do not have a public hearing tonight, so we'll move into our regular meeting. Roll call, please. Commissioner Manus.
Thank you. Schneider.
Here.
Lammers.
Present.
Johnson.
Present.
Tallman. Excused. Ingram.
Present.
Hepner.
Here.
Bransgard.
Here.
Reinhardt.
Teleo.
Manus. Here. Garrington.
Yo.
Stelk. Here. We have a quorum, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner Manus. We'll take a look. Report of City Council activity. Anything, Laura?
Yes, so City Council has approved a couple different plats. Last week, they did the preliminary plat for Katie's Eastern Avenue addition, and then they approved Shirley Shire, which that was a while ago for you guys, back in May, I think. And then Birchwood Grove second edition, and Westlake Business Park fifth edition were all approved by City Council last week.
Thank you. Secretary's report.
Move the report.
All in favor of the Secretary's report as printed, signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, it will stay as written. Anything on comp plan?
Nothing to report.
Thank you, Laura. We have no zoning activity, old or new. We do have one item of subdivision activity, and based on how bad I botched it up last week or last meeting, I would like Commissioner Johnson to read it.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have case ROW 22-01, request of Seven Hills Paving LLC to vacate unimproved right-of-way south of East 59th Street and west of Tremont Avenue in Ward 8. Staff recommends that the City Plan and Zoning Commission accept the listed findings and forward case ROW 22-01 to the City Council with a recommendation for approval subject to the three listed conditions. And I so move.
Second.
Case ROW 22-01 has been moved and seconded for discussion. Matt?
Thank you. So this is the unimproved right-of-way located on the map highlighted in yellow. So it's about 30 feet wide and roughly 675 feet in length. This portion of the city was largely platted during the late 70s. And when this area was platted, it was envisioned that there'd be a north-south street going through this right-of-way. However, when the land east was subdivided, Tremont Avenue was pushed a little further to the east. So we ended up with this remnant piece of right-of-way that's remained to this day. So the applicant, Seven Hills Paving, has purchased the 4 lots at the very end of the right-of-way, or at the very end of that industrial building. So the intention is to vacate the right-of-way so that way they can provide private access to those lots for development. To the east of the right-of-way, there is a 50-foot utility and drainage easement. And then directly to the west, that one industrial business has developed their building and site right up to the right-of-way line. So the city requires a minimum of 50 feet of right-of-way. So we would need 20 additional feet to provide public right-of-way to these properties, which is quite difficult. So that's why it's being proposed for a vacation. So here we have our street view. So you can see the industrial site there on the west, and then their site parking lot goes directly into the right-of-way. Currently, only about half of a roadway is constructed, just to the length of the south lot line of that property. And then the trees and the greenery is that utility and drainage easement, which would be quite difficult to develop a roadway on. So the land and surrounding areas zoned light industrial. Seven Hills Paving has submitted a letter of intent saying that they would like to construct a small storage building and a parking lot to store their commercial equipment for their projects in the Quad Cities. They're based out of Macokina. And then the aerials, the future land use is industry as well, so. In terms of public input, city staff met with Seven Hills Paving and J2 Investments, so they're the owner of that 923 East 59th Street at the end of November, just to talk about the potential development of those 4 lots and the vacation process and how that land would be conveyed. J2 seems supportive of the vacation, however, nothing's been submitted in writing from them. City staff did send public notices out to abutting property owners within 200 feet, telling them of the January 4th public hearing. Staff got one written comment from 817 59th Street, that's just to the west. Their comments just pertain more so to the potential development of their backyard neighbor and not so much in favor or opposed to the actual vacation itself. And then a public hearing notice was published in the paper. So right-of-way vacations, it's a 2-step process. The one is to determine if the right-of-way is needed for public purposes, and pending plan zone vote and then approval by city council, you would negotiate and determine the terms of conveyance to the adjacent property owners, and that's handled with the city's legal department. So city staff are recommending approval, subject to the 3 conditions. So our findings, the right-of-way is not needed for any public purposes in the short term or long term. And 2, utility easement would preserve the rights for utility providers to maintain existing and future infrastructure. Iowa American Water has a water main through a portion of this area to serve these 4 lots to the south. So a utility easement would give them access to their infrastructure. So 3 conditions. This kind of pertains to the future development of the site. So the property owner shall record an easement agreement immediately subsequent to the recording of the city's quitclaim deed. 2, a final plat shall be recorded within 6 months of the conveyance of the public right-of-way. The plat shall provide access and utility easements from the proposed lots to East 59th Street. And then 3, no development shall occur on lots 7, 8, 9, and 10 of Brady 80 Industrial Park 6th Edition until a final plat providing access to East 59th Street is recorded. So the applicant submitted a letter of intent, basically outlining that should the land get conveyed to them, they would record an easement that would provide access to those 4 parcels. Because if it were vacated today, you would have 4 landlocked pieces. And then they would have 6 months to record a plat. They've stated that their intention is to take those 4 lots, combine them into one, and then make a flag out to 59th Street. So that's how that land would be developed.
Thank you, Matt. Would the petitioner like to say anything?
Mike Richmond of Townsend Engineering. I have nothing to add, but I'll answer any questions.
Commissioners, any questions? Seeing none, thank you. Commissioners, any questions at this time?
I have a question, Mr. Chair.
For some reason, there we go. Commissioner Lammers.
Will you refresh my memory if this is approved moving forward and 6 months occurs and nothing happens, does the conveyance go back to its original state?
So it would be how the ordinance with city council would be crafted, and in this case, they're often called like a clawback. So if they're unable to meet the terms of the agreement, it would revert back to public right-of-way. And that way it protects the property from no longer having access in case they do not follow through.
Thank you.
Commissioner Hefner, did you wish to speak?
No, sir.
Thank
Sorry.
you. Any additional questions? Seeing none, roll call, please. Commissioner Manus.
Thank you. Stowe.
Yes.
Garrington.
Yes.
Manus, yes. Reinhardt.
Yes.
Bransgard.
Yes.
Hepner.
Yes.
Tallman, excused. Johnson.
Yes.
Lammers.
Yes.
Schneider.
Yes.
Passes, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Appreciate your assistance. I see no other subdivision activity. Any future business, Laura?
Not that I have seen. So it looks like we would probably be canceling our January,
No, it's February 1st.
February 1st, right?
Right.
Okay, I was in the wrong month. Our February 1st meeting. Looks like it's a cancel. I will confirm via email.
Okay. Any communications or any other business? Seeing none?
Move to adjourn?
All in favor of adjournment signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, we are adjourned. Thank you for your attendance.
Thank you.
Not quite a new record.